There's something appealing about derelict, abandoned places. Fortunately, Texas has loads of them, so admiring them is easy. Today we're going to talk about the top 9 abandoned routes in Texas, including abandoned highways, bridges, and railroads. Number 9. The abandoned railroad at Brazoria National Wildlife Refuge. This overgrown railroad was once part of the now defunct Missouri Pacific Railway line. Today, there are still several long and intact stretches of its abandoned tracks and train bridges left. Although some of the actual tracks are located on private property, several crumbling train bridges can be seen from the public roadway on Hoskins Mound Road, just outside the entrance to Brazoria National Wildlife Refuge. Number 8. Abandoned railroad at Wallaceville, Texas. This line between Union Station in Houston and Kennedy, Texas, was originally built in 1887 by the San Antonio and Aransas Pass Railway. There was, however, serious competition with other railways, and this gradually caused the route to be abandoned over the decades. But you can still see several of its crumbling railroad bridges from the road, most notably the one where FM 1093 and the Brazos River intersect. Number 7. Abandoned railroad depot at Palestine, Texas. Near the town of Palestine, Texas, sits an abandoned Union Pacific Railroad and depot. The roads, buildings, and rails here are slowly being consumed by the elements. A possible reason for this depot's abandonment is the decades-old legal feud between Union Pacific and the city of Palestine. For the full story, check out my video on the link. Number 6. The ruins of the Lavaca Bay Causeway at Port Lavaca, Texas. If you tried to drive down this bridge, your car would very soon plunge headfirst into Lavaca Bay. This bridge was originally built in 1931 and was the longest bridge in Texas at the time. However, it suffered catastrophic damage caused by severe storms both in 1942 and in 1945. After being repaired, rebuilt, and reinforced several times, it finally met its final demise at the hands of Hurricane Carla in 1961, and now sits ominously in ruins. Number 5. Abandoned Highway 96 traffic bridge at Evadale, Texas. The abandoned Highway 96 Neches River Bridge is located near Evadale, Texas. It is almost impossible to physically access, but we can use drone footage to look at this decaying gem. Overgrown, forgotten, and replaced by a newer bridge just to the north, it's probably only a matter of time before this bridge is washed into the river. Number 4. The legendary Ghost Road at Saratoga, Texas. The Ghost Road, previously known as Bragg Road, was originally completed as a railroad in 1902. It was used to transport people, cattle, oil, and logs between the towns of Saratoga and Bragg. However, when the oil and lumber in the area gave out, the rails were pulled up and the road was all but abandoned. This abandoned route abounds with sinister stories and legends. Number 3. Abandoned Highway 80 at Hallsville, Texas. US Highway 80 is a major highway in the southern US, much of which was once part of the early auto trail known as the Dixie Overland Highway. However, the entire segment west of Dallas, Texas, has been replaced by various newer highways. As a result, some portions of Highway 80, like this one near Hallsville, Texas, have been abandoned altogether, left behind to be found by curious explorers. Number 2. Broken Bridge at Uvalde, Texas. There are 3 collapsed bridges located together on the Nueces River, near Uvalde, Texas. One of these ruined bridges, locally known as Broken Bridge, is an abandoned portion of Highway 83. The bridge was destroyed during a catastrophic flood in 1935 and has been abandoned ever since. Apparently, the abandoned train bridge didn't fare much better. These bridges are located on private property, so they can only be legally explored by drone or by kayak when the water is high enough. Number 1. Abandoned train bridge at Rockland, Texas. On the Neches River, near Rockland, Texas, lie the majestic ruins of the abandoned Texas and New Orleans Railroad Bridge. This bridge was built in 1899 and abandoned around 1996. The wooden trestle visible from the water and air is just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Most of the now rotting and overgrown trestle work on both ends begins long before the railroad reaches the water, as the ground elevation becomes uneven. It can be reached by drone or via kayaking down the Neches River. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and giving a thumbs up. Is there something I missed? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.
Hi, this is Mauricio from Explore RC. If you liked my content, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And you can also follow me on my Instagram account, Explore RC. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.